Well, it's official. Leslie Headland just came out in her interview with Collider and said that that unknown planet that we see Osha and Chimere in, it's definitely not Octo, even though it resembles it a lot. So practically how she explained it is that she went for a complete Last Jedi feel. As we discussed in the earlier video, Osha dons the suit of Rey in The Last Jedi. Essentially, Chimere is supposed to be the evil Luke Skywalker, teaching her, corrupting her, as the title of the episode indicates, and she went for a planet that had the same feel as Octo, but it is definitely not Octo. Although, again, what planet is it? This is very important because we talked in the latest video why, if it is Baldemnik, it's gonna be really important for everything we have been clamoring about Tenebris, about Plagueis, that they would finally not only come to canon, but perhaps even the first appearance ever in live action. The closest we have come to Plagueis being in live action is an off-script novelization of The Phantom Menace, where Darth Maul and Palpatine are talking on Coruscant, and when Qui-Gon is talking to Anakin Skywalker far away in the novelization, it is told to us that Plagueis is watching both Qui-Gon and Anakin from afar, and Plagueis was so powerful that he foresaw, just by looking at little Anakin talking to Qui-Gon on a platform on Coruscant, he saw what the future of this little kid would be. So just imagine how powerful Plagueis is, and if he actually makes it into live action, it would be something pretty spectacular. Now, in the last video, we talked about what is the significance of this planet and how it could actually give us an indication that Plagueis and Tenebris might be on their way. One of them or both of them, we still don't know because Chimere is being super secretive. Perhaps both of them are alive at this point and they, as he said so himself, discarded him, but we will see. We're going to talk a lot about his scar on his back, that it is prominently featured twice, not only the time he enters the pool, but also the time when he is working on his helmet and he wipes sweat off his face. You again see his scar. By the shape of it, most fans have talked about it is probably Vernestra with her light whip. Perhaps it is not a coincidence that we see both of them at the same time in this episode. We see Vernestra using her light whip in this episode, in episode 6, and also twice we see Chimere's scar. So is that a connection? Perhaps, because it seems that way, but a lightsaber, an ordinary lightsaber or force lightning, could have done that as well. This is why I think him talking about somebody discarding him could be Plagueis, and this planet might give us a clue as to why. There were speculations from episode 5 that he was not a Sith, that Chimere was perhaps a Knights of Ren founder, and we still might see that happening because we don't know if Chimere survived this and perhaps went on to found something outside of the Jedi and Sith. We don't know that, but as of right now, he does seem to be something more than that, a Sith apprentice, a Sith assassin, similar to what Darth Maul was once he was discarded. You see, everything parallels to the other stories. Darth Plagueis discarded Chimere for Palpatine, for Darth Sidious, the Golden Apprentice. And what did Palpatine do? He did exactly the same thing. He discarded Darth Maul and Count Dooku for the Golden Apprentice, Anakin Skywalker, Darth Vader. Going back to the old cliche of George Lucas, it's like poetry, it rhymes. But believe it or not, there's more proof that a Darth Plagueis mention might happen. You see, already we have a lot of Legends lore starting to creep into canon. Cortosis was, of course, canon way before this series, but never in live action. And now, not only did we get Cortosis in episode 5 just by viewing the helmet, but we get a complete mention as Chimere not only mentions that his helmet is all cortosis, and the benefits is not only shorting lightsabers and being protected from lightsabers, but also it has a force sensibility too. It blocks out all the outside and gets you in a true state of mind. It's only you and the force, and we see that with the Darth Vader Easter egg in the end, where Osha puts on the mask and the breathing resembles heavily the one with Darth Vader. It even ends there with her breath. Well, speaking of legends starting to creep into canon more and more, especially with this series, we also have this planet. If it's not Octo, I have suspected that this looks a lot like the planet Baldemnik. This is a Legends planet that is originally connected to Darth Plagueis. You see, in reference material for Tenebris and the Darth Plagueis novel, of course, that is mainly the source of everything we know about Darth Plagueis and how he taught Palpatine. The Baldemnik planet is very significant. Baldemnik is described as an ocean planet that is adorned with rocky tropical islands. It is located in the Outer Rim territories. Its harsh climate discourages most people from visiting the planet, despite the beauty of its giant rock cliffs, pristine beaches, and vast azure oceans. At some point in Baldemnik, it was made aware that the planet was rich with deposits of cortosis ore that ultimately fell into the hands of Darth Tenebris and Darth Plagueis. Now hear this, Higo Damask, the original name of Darth Plagueis, Plagueis actually killed his master Tenebris on this planet on Baldemnik, and he later, as Higo Damask, acquired the mining rights to a large portion of the main continent on this planet. You see, the similarities are so big that I think this is not only a direct connection to Darth Plagueis, but also the reason why they didn't name this planet, why it was an unknown planet rather than revealing it as Baldemnik, because that would give away completely the secret that this is a direct Easter egg and reference to Darth Plagueis, and Chimere with his speech to Osha would give the game completely away. I'm thinking that they are reserving his revelation that Darth Plagueis was his Sith master until the finale, perhaps. I don't think we're outright going to see Darth Plagueis in live action. That would be phenomenal, but I don't think they're going that route. I think that at the very least, we're only going to get a mention of him. And of course, Plagueis is often speculated if he is a folklore, a legend's tale of Darth Sidious when he tells Anakin that could be perhaps a lie, a ruse by Palpatine. There's been a lot of speculation that he might not even exist. This would put everything to bed. This would put everything to rest. Even those who contend that he is canon, he was referenced in this or that, a mention of Darth Plagueis officially in canon in the Acolyte series would lay this whole debate to rest. Darth Plagueis is real. He was the original master of Chimere before pushing him away for another apprentice. I think it's too early for Darth Sidious, of course, that he got Palpatine, but again, similar to Palpatine, it doesn't mean that Darth Plagueis' second apprentice could be Palpatine. It could be somebody else entirely until he discards of that second apprentice too, and ultimately, years later, gets to Palpatine himself. Well, I made my case that Darth Plagueis is definitely the one hiding behind everything, even behind Chimere, and I think Chimere was severely traumatized, as you can see. He is not well. He thinks he is well, but he has been deeply disturbed by not only the Jedi. He mentioned that he was a Jedi a long time ago. That's another clue that something is not right with Chimere. Osha doesn't remember him, so he says, well, this was long before your time. But Chimere is young. He is not that old to be telling Osha that you were too young when I was an apprentice. Perhaps he was just a youngling. Who knows what happened really? But it definitely does appear that not only are we going to find out that Chimere was betrayed by not the Jedi, but his Sith master, but that his Sith master was indeed Plagueis. Now Chimere wants his own power of 2, so we'll see what's going to happen. Tell me all your thoughts down below. Do you actually think this is the planet Baldemnik where Plagueis killed Tenebris? And will Chimere be revealed to be the former apprentice of Higo Damask, Darth Plagueis?